Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the FB4 Daily. Sunday, the 11th of August. Excuse me, I have that right, I think, but it could have went badly wrong. I've had a rough couple of days. Barry Carr said it's tight at the top. Yeah, yeah. There's one game in. I think they're handing the title to City already. Stuff like that. No, this is the FB4 Daily for Sunday. It's brought to you by Paddy Power. Paddy Power is a betting site and app that you can get all your odds on football, sport, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, if you gamble responsibly. Use Paddy Power. By all means, they're really good on football and specials and all sorts of stuff like that. If you don't gamble, disregard everything I've said. It's not for you. That is absolutely no issue at all. What are we going to speak about tonight? Well, if you have anything you want to speak about, absolutely throw it in there. And we'll have a discussion about it. I'm definitely going to talk about Norwich tonight. The results, how we played. Looking forward to Chelsea on Wednesday. The Alisson injury, VAR. I definitely want to touch on these things. This may go on a bit longer than the usual. This may go on with more than the usual 30 minutes or so. It might go on a bit longer because usually we have the Fatback 4 on a Sunday. But the lads are busy. They have pre-planned stuff that they're doing, which is absolutely cool. So yeah, it's just me and all of you tonight, so let's see how we get on. Yossi said, did I see you sweating a bit, Gav? I don't know, did you? You may have. If you were sweating, it was probably drink. Was there crack with Peter and Grace? There absolutely was. Peter met me on Thursday. We done a show from Motel. I'd like to thank Paul Senior for letting us use Motel for that. We had a bit of a problem with the technology, but and laptops and all sorts of stuff, so we pre-recorded that one. Grace then met me on Friday. We went to the Anfield Rap Studios. Again, I'd like to thank them for letting us get involved there and use their facilities. Really nice guys, and me and Grace done a really good show there. We took a day off yesterday to recover, and we're back now, and we're back every day. But yeah, it was good. How about the Man City B team that Yosi says has a chance of making top four? Yeah, I didn't really watch a lot of Sky today. I watched the match and I had it on mute for most of it because I thought I'm not really into Mourinho. Souness I don't mind, but Carragher, Neville and Tyler, just like I couldn't deal with them whatsoever. So it was one of those where I didn't watch a lot of it. I'm being perfectly honest with you. Hangover is not a pre-planned activity. Yeah, no, the two lads now they actually have. Matt is back from Dubai, so he's seeing family and friends, and Grizz has something on with the family as well. So that's the way it goes. Good win for the Reds, says Dixon. 87. Chelsea looked shocking against pace today. Mane, Salah running at them. Yeah, we will get into that when it comes to Wednesday. I watched the United game today. We're not here to speak about them, but I thought Chelsea were the better side for the first half an hour, 40 minutes, and then they were atrocious from there on in. You know, you took their chances and fair play to them. But first up, Norwich on Friday night. Yeah, it was Friday night. A 4-1 victory. I'm going to be honest, I was in the ground. The atmosphere, the buzz before it was excellent. The way the fans were up for it. You know, we got in there about 10 minutes before kick-off. The place was more or less full 10 minutes before kick-off. There was very few late stragglers coming in. There was a great mosaic on the Cop. The place was in good voice. It was, you could feel a real buzz around the place. You know, there was a bit of a swagger around about everyone, and the team included. I don't think the team got anywhere above probably 70% in that game. I genuinely don't. So you know, it was you know. A lot of people are making out like I seen Carragher's, you know, I seen Carragher's comments with regards to our defence. Carragher was at the game, and I was at the game, and from what I seen from the game was a Liverpool team about 70%. There was a good swagger about them. There was you know, there was a real confidence that the passing was quite sharp, but a couple of things I did notice was Robertson didn't seem to go forward as much as he usually does. You know, Trent Alexander-Arnold was quite reserved, and there was a little bit of hesitancy in his game that I've picked up on in the last little while, but he done fine. The midfield were great for the first half, snapping into things. losing a couple of second balls. I was saying it to Ray Dickinson that was sitting beside me. A lot of second balls are dropped in midfield. We seem to be a little bit slow to them. I thought Bobby Firmino was excellent. I thought Salah was good in patches. I thought Origi was really good for the first 50 minutes or so and then went off it. But overall, look, it was a good win. It was 4-1. In truth, it could have been about 6 or 7-2. I'd say if all these chances went in, you know. But like it was one of those where it's a good win. You get off to a good start. You know, the first goal, the lad's unfortunate. Origi puts in a decent ball. You know, he's unfortunate. The second goal is a really good finish by Salah. A lucky enough bounce, but Firmino puts him in lovely. Great header for the third. A great ball by Trent for Origi for the fourth. And then we just toned it right down. Second half, the midfield were a little bit slow on it, a little bit out of shape. The back four were okay. He got in around behind Gomez a couple of times, and that can happen. But I think, listen, Gomez, that's a full-paced Premier League game for the first time in a while for him. So you can't really, I suppose, I wouldn't be reading too much into it. But look, if Liverpool stepped this up, if Liverpool actually did step it up and went for Norwich, they could have absolutely destroyed them. Like at half-time, myself and Ray were discussing it and saying this could be 7. If Liverpool keep at this tempo, and it wasn't even a full tempo, it could be 7. They didn't. They dropped off. Norwich hit the bar in the second half and scored a goal. But other than that, they didn't really do too much. I thought the fullbacks were quite good. There was one guy playing for them called Cantwell, number 14. He was really impressive first half especially. He was making use of that space between Trent and where Salah would come back, but Salah was really hanging up high up the pitch, and their left back couldn't get up the pitch because of it. It was obviously a ploy from Liverpool, because I know the left back from Norwich is highly rated. Dixon says when they scored, it was like both teams shook hands. It was a little bit like that. Liverpool went for them early in the second half. Firmino should have scored just after Henderson hit the bar. We had a couple of chances. Mane had a bit of zipper out when he came on, and they looked terrified of him. But I think you're right. I think once they scored, he thought, you know, look, let's leave it at that. Somebody says there they won't be the worst team to come to Anfield. They absolutely won't, because they tried to play football. They were brave in what they done, and they continue to be brave. They may need to tone that back a little bit against certain sides if they want to pick up points here or there. But no, they were okay. Maverick says Liverpool were okay. It's still a work in progress. But 3 points is the aim. Adrian should be good enough for 2 months. Yeah, we'll get on to that with regards to Alisson. But yeah, I agree with you. They were okay. It was 3 points was the aim, and we push on from there. Yossi says, who did Pookie exchange shirts with after the game, and what's behind it? I haven't a clue. I know he was substituted off, so I didn't see him after the game. I really don't know. Barry Carr says Norwich, to their credit, made changes in the second half. We're less open and a better outfit going forward. As I said last week, look out for the 2 fullbacks. The right back was quite good. He got forward once or twice. I think he was the one that hit the bar actually. The left back really impressed me. He was over our side first half, and although Salah was playing quite well, I felt that the left back was really good. On the ball, he was quite cool. He didn't kind of panic. He was looking to play passes and stuff like that. So yeah, he was really good. They did make some changes. They went a bit tighter. Looking at them in the first half, they were picking up the second ball when the ball went long. Fair enough, but once we passed once or twice in midfield, we were at them, and we seemed to overrun them. What really impressed me most of the first half was Firmino. Firmino last season, everybody knew that he was off at that little bit. When he came back, he looked absolutely sharp as a tack. Absolutely sharp as a tack. You know, and it's a really good sign to see. Salah just played himself into it, as I said, but he scores a goal. You know, he's always around. People are terrified of him. It's mad to be sitting so close to the touchline and to watch a team literally 3 players look at Salah when they lose the ball and it gets to a Liverpool player. 3 of them are looking around to see where Salah is. It was mad to watch. It was just everywhere. It was like, where's Salah? Now the thing was when Mane come on, you could see it with Mane as well. They were looking to him, and Mane was excellent. I thought when he come on for a guy coming straight in. first touch, he sprints after the ball, he gets a nick on it and he's away. A little bit sharper, he may have had a goal for himself. How many will be put past Chelsea, says Byron? It's a hard one. I want to talk about that because I think it's a difficult one to judge on Wednesday night. You know, watch Chelsea today. I thought they were tidy on the ball. I know Tammy Abraham hits the bar or hits the post. The left back, his name has escaped me. He hits the post or hits the bar as well. You know, and then they just, every time they seem to lose the ball, whether it was in midfield or even when they were attacking, they were so open. You know, it was 2 passes and they were so open. If they went in like that against us, it could be any score. It could be any score, but it's hard to judge. We will go through this. I'll get people to pick a team and stuff like that for Wednesday, just judging on what you've seen on Friday, what players didn't play. I thought the substitutions were quite interesting, but we'll have to wait and see. Kev O'Sullivan says he was surprised that Norwich played out from the back. That's the way they play, Kev. Emerson is the left back. Sorry, yeah, you're right. Emerson is the Chelsea left back. But Kev, that's the way they played, and they done it. They done it from the very start. And they you know, they persevered with it. And obviously, look, that's the way they play. That is their play. And if that's what they believe in, it's just one of those things that. But they will have to learn at times to be. I think they didn't really get caught at the back with the ball. They got caught in transition around midfield where there was 2 passes popped around them, and Liverpool were really, really, really good. They 4 players to come into that team. Is this about Norwich or is it about Chelsea? I presume it's about Chelsea. Let me see now. What else have we got? Yeah, but just going. We get on to Chelsea and stuff, but on the Norwich thing. No, fair play to them. They did tighten up at the back, but I just thought it was a routine. Liverpool at 65-70%, 4-1. A little bit disappointed with the goal. I think we're a bit square. The guy comes inside. We're a bit square. There's no impressing him. A centre half has to try make it look like he's going to press him, and maybe it's a good run. But he should be really covered by the centre half or Alexander Arnold, who's looking across that can see it. Keeper doesn't have a look. Doesn't have a look at saving it really. It's a good finish across him. We were right behind. It was a good finish across him into the far side. People said the Norwich fans were excellent. I thought they were excellent. They were loud. They were they kept going. Big cheer when they scored. But then they started with "Is this a library?" and "Where's your famous atmosphere?" And when you're singing this stuff in a Cockney accent, it just negates anything you've done before that. That's being perfectly honest with you. Listen, if you're watching this on Twitter, hit the share button, share it onto your timeline. If you're watching it on YouTube, subscribe. And if you haven't, subscribe if you haven't. If you have subscribed, tell people you know about it. Get them to subscribe. Get them to follow us on Twitter. Watch the broadcasts, share them, comment, do all that. So this, let me see. Our right side of the fence is open to the counter, says Glenna. Norwich used it all the time. The reason for that was because Salah pushed right up the pitch. So what they were doing was they were dropping a guy in, not onto Alexander Arnold, but dropping a guy halfway between Alexander Arnold and Salah to pick it up. Henderson was doing quite a good job to come over and he tried to cover that, and he did get stuck in a couple of times. And in fairness to him, when he hung around that area of the pitch, he was quite creative from there as well. He nutmegged the guy on the sideline about halfway through the first half. It was a lovely move, and gets it into Firmino, and the space Firmino has. You know, I think 5-6 games in, the touches that were there from the likes of Firmino, Salah, Origi at times, Henderson, Wijnaldum. 5 or 6 games in, there's a little bit more sharpness, and I think we opened them up a hell of a lot more. Yeah, Dixon 87 thinks that Trent will get rested for the Southampton game. I don't know if he will. There's a little bit of hesitancy in where he looks like he's going to go for it, and then he stops, and then he thinks, oh, I will go for it, and then it's too late. Just a little thing in him. It's like, you know, people talk about half a yard and stuff like that, but it wasn't even that. It was just, it's hard to explain, but I think even going forward, he was a little bit hesitant. He usually bomb onto stuff and get great crosses in. He put 1 or 2 great balls in, but there was other times I thought he's holding back here a little bit. You know, I'm not saying they're under instruction to hold back, But they were definitely holding something back. And if it had went 2-0 and then 2-1, I think they would have stepped up a gear and done it. Fabinho for me was excellent in the first half. He clatters Henderson at the end of the first half, just on the whistle. And then he lags a little bit in the second half. But again, I think because Liverpool had dropped such a tempo that I think it was hard for them to gather it back, and they tried to do that with the substitutions. 1 and 4 substitution, of course, was Alisson. He had to come off after taking a goal kick. He goes down. Nobody really noticed until the ball was kicked out, and then there was a lot of whistling came from the cop. Looked, and Alisson was lying on the ground. Straight away, you knew it's obviously some sort of strain he's done, because it was a goal kick. You know, it wasn't like he was in a challenge or anything like that. You know, there's talk now that it's a calf strain. Then some people are saying that because of his reaction and because of quotes, you know, credited to Alisson afterwards, it could be something to do with the Achilles tendon. Adrian had to come on, got a brilliant reception when he came on, done nothing wrong, decent with his feet, very, very vocal, very, very vocal. I noticed it, especially in the second half, extremely vocal. No chance with the goal, handled the ball quite well, cool from goal kicks and stuff like that. No real issues there with him. It looks like Andy Lonergan will be offered a short-term deal at Liverpool, because Alisson could be out from anywhere. You could be talking anywhere from 4 weeks to 4 or 5 months. If it's the Achilles, is anybody there that could tell me what the story is with Achilles injuries, and if he's done the tendon, how long it could be? Dixon asks, can you see Kent getting on the bench at least Wednesday? No, I absolutely can't. It's a very, very strange one that they haven't loaned Kent or sold him. Now, they did say they weren't going to loan him. I just don't see where he gets near the squad. You know, you look, like I talk about the substitutions the other night, they have to bring Adrian on, which that's fine. They bring on Mane because he's only back, and I'm trying to think who the third change was. I'll think of it now in a minute. But when you look at the likes of you know, Naby Keita, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, you know, I don't even think Lallana was in the 18. You know, there was a lot there where there's a lot of players ahead of Ryan Kent. Imagine if we had to see Mignolet for a few months. We were saying that in the ground. Myself and Ray were saying if he had to come on now, there would have been. And then if he had to come on coupled with, you know, this could be a longer term injury for Alisson than we first thought. The heads would absolutely roll. If it's an Achilles, it could be his season, said Kev. Hope it's just a calf tear. It could be a season. That would be a John saying the same. Sorry, Milner come on. Milner did come on, sorry. And I didn't surprise you Milner come on after missing the Charity Shield with a slight niggle. They obviously getting him on to keep him up to speed, which was absolutely fine. If it's a calf tear. They think grade 2, subject to scans, 4 to 6 weeks. Listen, that's probably the best outcome we can get, Stephen. And if that is if that is the case, it's a brilliant outcome. It really, really is. Can easily see Kent being sold to a German side. Of course, you know, our window is still open to sell players up until the 31st of August. So, yeah, I just don't see him getting near the squad. You know, like we'll all try to pick a team later for Wednesday and have a little, and later on the week we'll have a look for you know, a team for Southampton at the weekend. But it's just, I just don't see where he gets in. Alisson initial assessment. If it's only a calf tear, if it's Achilles, it's a major one. Absolutely. Bobby, man of the match. Asks somebody. Yeah, I'd probably go with that. Yeah, I think he looked the most on it. I think he looked the most intense. Some of his touches were excellent. He sets up Salah. He's only missing a goal. I know I split the bet last week. Somebody went for 5-0. It might have, and didn't win. And then another person went for over 2.5 goals. Firmino and Salah to score and Liverpool to win or something like that. And he was only a Firmino goal away from winning that bet. So yeah, it's I suppose bets weren't too bad, but yeah, I think I'll go with Firmino. Anybody else disagree? And on Firmino, but I'd probably give it to Firmino. I don't know who the man of the match was given to on the ground, but I think yeah, I'd probably go with Firmino. I really would. Byron says LFC medical staff will continue to assess the setback Alisson suffered Amid concerns he could be sidelined for around 8 weeks. The initial indication that was damage to his calf. That's a quote from Paul Joyce that Byrne has sent us in there. Listen, we'll have to just wait and see. And then he says Liverpool are checking on the Achilles to see if not affected as well. So, you know, we know, I suppose, what the two injuries could be. We're hoping for the former and not the latter. So let's go and see. Barry Carr says, by the way, Saints look awful. They were beaten, was it 3-0 at Burnley, if I remember right. But listen, I don't really judge on opening days. I really don't. I think, you know, it's an open day of the season. Some teams have everyone back, some teams don't. Even if they do, players aren't up to speed. You know, I was looking at the teams lined up at the weekend there, and even like Arsenal against Newcastle. You know, they didn't have Pepe in the team. Obviously, Ozil wasn't there, and Kolasinac because of certain things. But like, you know, Lacazette, they a couple of players that you would expect. Tierney has to come into their team. You know, there's a couple of players there. You know, you look at Chelsea today. I was surprised at the Chelsea lineup, but they look quite limited in what they can do this season. They really do. I think Liverpool have a really, really, really strong squad and a strong bench if you look at it the way it was. United were more or less full strength, but you know, like, I don't really judge the opening days. I'm going to be honest with you, because it's all about getting up to speed, and that's why you don't want away to a promoted side on the first day if they have that extra little bit in them and you're still getting back into a rhythm, you know. But I think Liverpool in the Lyon game and the second half of the Charity Shield showed what they can do when they put their foot down. I don't think they put their foot down at all on Friday night. I really don't. They came out of the ground. Alright, we lost the second half 1-0, and Sky went on as if Norwich had won the Premier League and that we were going to get relegated. But you know, it's I came out just going, yeah, a win's a win, you know, and it's 3 points, and we move on to the next one. And it's a tricky balancing act, I suppose, with Wednesday now going to Turkey, isn't it? And then we have Southampton at the weekend. It's a tricky kind of balancing act, but look, it's one that I'm sure we'll adjust to, and we'll sort out. My main priority is get out of Wednesday. If you can win, great. If you can win and have no injuries or setbacks and players get time in their legs, absolutely great. But you want to get to Southampton and you want to put another 3 on the board before we play Arsenal. Still don't know how Krul saved Bobby Screamer, but you're going to have to remind me of that one. Is that not the one? The only one I can remember is where he should have scored after Henderson hit the bar and Salah plays in Trent, and I think he hits it wide. It's a corner, but listen, I thought it was a corner, but it was a goal kick given. But you'll have to remind me. The extra 2 days rest must help us. That's obviously in regards to Chelsea. It should do. Chelsea are looking now at probably a down day tomorrow. Travel to Turkey Tuesday, play Wednesday. So yeah, it may do, but I think it's gonna be hard enough to pick a team. Barry Carr says fair enough. They could bring Danso in and he could be Baresi, but Saints were just horrendous. Burnley were nothing special. I didn't see the game. I presume you have, Barry. But it's always a difficult game when you go to Southampton, and they were okay against us at the back end of last season. I know we won the game 3-1, but it was a tough game. That manager's made them hard to play against. But again, it could be just one of those opening day things where, you know, one of those things where it doesn't click for you on the first day, and you can't get up to speed, and it's so hard to get up to that speed, and before you know it, you're 2 down. The first half when he turned in the box, still can't remember it. And I wasn't even drunk, I promise. It's just gone completely on my head. Oh, no. Now I remember it. Someone said it was the one where Bobby controlled it on his chest and volleyed Simmons to the last. Yes, yeah. Krul played well. Krul did play well. He didn't have a chance with any of the goals, really. You know, he really didn't. He made a couple of good saves. The one against Henderson second half and he pushed onto the bar was amazing. What was with Carragher's negative crap? Doing the old, if this is that, yeah, if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle. Yeah, I thought he was over the top. I didn't. Ray Dickens said I went for a hot dog. I didn't. I have a story about that. Myself and Ray had a. I don't know. It was an interesting entrance into the ground. Let's just say. I'll go into that now in a minute. But yeah, I didn't get Carragher. You know, like okay, Norwich had a few chances, a few breaks. you know, the 1 or 2 shots. One went nearly over the back of the cop, and they were going on about it. But I didn't see. I don't see what the big deal is here. You know, they had a couple of shots. They scored a goal. Fair enough. We switched off. That's absolutely fine. You know, these things happen. But I don't see what the major thing is. You know, like, you could pick holes in any team at the weekend. You know, like, and I include City in that. You know, West Ham had a couple of chances against City. City were very cynical in what they were doing. You could pick holes in anything. As I said, the opening day of the season, not for me. Like, if it's 4 or 5 games in and it's happened 4 or 5 times in a row, yeah, you'd be a little bit concerned, but not at the moment, really not. Yeah, Dicko says that I went for a hot dog. I didn't. I tried to get something to eat before the game, and I asked for a burger, and they'd no buns left. Then the police went past on their horses, and a guy shouted, "Get them animals off them horses," which was quite funny. We went in and we asked for hot dogs, and they dropped them on the floor, so we had to wait for new ones. Then at half time we got a beer, but it was like literally warm. There was steam coming off. It was that warm, so me and Ray had a bit of a laugh about that. But now, overall, I thought the game was good. I thought it was a good win. I don't think there's much more to say about it. But the VAR stuff, listen, I'm a fan of it, but the way it's being implemented, I think there was about a 5-minute delay at the start of the second half, and it was something to do with VAR and headsets and earpieces and all stuff, and the teams are out, and, like, the referee calls, from what I could make out, the referee calls the teams out, they go out, they're ready to line up, and next of all there's a problem with one of the assistants. Now surely, I know it's a trivial, it might sound like a trivial thing, but this is in its infancy now in the Premier League full time. Surely you check everything and then you call the teams out. Teams are passing balls around for 5 minutes. Crowd are getting a bit annoyed about it, and it might have affected Liverpool more than it affected Norwich. It might have affected them, you know, because we're waiting to go here, and then you can pass the ball around as much as you want, but when you go out there, you're ready to go again. And 5 minutes waiting, just passing the ball around, your body starts to cool down. You know, your muscles start to tighten up in 5 minutes, because if you're an athlete like that, it absolutely can. So, but the VAR stuff, there wasn't a screen on Anfield. It was, I think, the scoreboard was being used as information, but nothing came up about VAR. Nothing. There was nothing contentious about any of the goals or anything like that. But they check everything now, don't they? I watched City early on Saturday, and like, Raheem Sterling has a goal disallowed, and it's all because I think his hand is 3 millimeters ahead of someone else's body and all. It's absolutely insane, and it's taken too long, and I don't like it in that sense. I know where they're coming from with it, but I don't like it in that sense. I really don't. But look, we'll have to wait and see. It's in its infancy. It's going to get better as it goes, I hope. You know, it's one of those things where people will either love it or hate it. I don't think you'll find people being very in between about it. You know, it's just one of those things where you just hope it gets a little bit smoother as it goes. That's all. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on the VAR thing, but look, I'm sure we'll discuss it as the days and weeks and months go on, because there will be some controversial stuff over the season. You know, it's just the way it goes. It will be controversial for every side, good and bad. You get some, you won't get some, as these things even themselves out, as they say. They may not, but they're really putting it to the letter of the law. You know, like the penalty for City. Then Aguero misses a penalty. I thought it was for the keeper coming off the line. Now I think he could have made it be retaken, because the keeper steps off his line before the ball is struck. Aguero saves it, and I think he puts it down to Declan Rice encroaching on the box. Okay, the second penalty is taken and the keeper is off his line again, but the penalty this time is scored. I can't understand how that penalty isn't taken back again and told, no, the keeper was off his line. He broke the rules. Doesn't matter whether he scored or not. So it's a bit strange when it comes down to these things. You know, so we'll have to wait and see. It will, hopefully it improves them. People get more used to it, and the experience in the ground can get a bit better as they go along. But going on to Wednesday, the European Super Cup. I'd like to see what you all think about this. I'm going to be honest and say I'm not too fussed about it. I really not too fussed about it, because I'm already in the mindset that I just want to get to Southampton next week and put 3 more points on the board. But I suppose, look, we're going to have a little chat about it, probably pick a team. tomorrow's Monday, so to Monday and Tuesday night, we'll try bring up a couple of specials on Paddy Power, and we'll get some special prices up. And if you ever have any bets, throw them in here tomorrow and Tuesday, and myself and Ian will look at them and price them up and have them. And as I said, if you're on the Paddy Power app, you can go on there, you can go to specials, you can go to football, you can scroll down and find the LFC Day Tripper specials, and all the stuff that you would suggest to us, and I would suggest to Ian, and everything we come up with together, we would price them and put them in. Stephen says he's going to Istanbul. I'd be interested to see how many people travel to that. You know, I think Liverpool will have a great following at it anyway. It's just the way they go. Be interested to see how many Chelsea go. Ray Dickens says, "Go strong and win the thing." Yeah, no, look, I'm all for winning anything, but I'm already in that mindset, Ray, where I'm just all about league games. I'm winning league games. I really am. It's just been in me since the start of last season, and I can't seem to shift it. FA Cups and League Cups will come and go, and I'll be not overly bothered with them. Champions League, of course I will, but it's just the way I am at the minute. Kev says, assuming everyone comes out as fit, I don't think there'll be many changes. Well, let me pick you a team and see if you agree, okay? So, they're going to go with Adrian in goal. I think they might go Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson. I think he might go Fabinho, Henderson, Keita. And I think the three boys, the main boys, may get a couple of I think the three boys will get a start up front. I really do. I think keep the rhythm going for the Salah and Firmino, and then, you know, get Mane in and get him, even get him an hour. Ray Dickinson said the league is gone. Yeah, yeah. You think it would if we go on to Sky and stuff like that. You think it was gone. Chelsea sent back a couple of 1,000 tickets, says Stephen. Interesting. Couple of 1,000. Like, what would he get? We see if that ground holds 60 odd thousand, they're probably only getting about 15. You know, so if they sent a couple of 1,000 back on 15, it's a bit much. Never seen a team get away with so many fouls like City do before we play them. Klopp has to mention it. Ferguson would alert these boneheaded refs. Rodri gave away 3 or 4. Yeah, listen, they're known for this, and Fernandinho was known for this. Little cynical, tactical fouls when they feel like they're anyway stretched. But no, nothing seems to get done about it, you know. But look, once you don't put your hands on anyone, if you put your foot in and you know you're not going to get it, but your foot is in there, you'll get away with most of them. You know, it's just one of those things. We'll have to wait and see as it goes. But I think you're right. Ferguson will be all over that. If he's seen that element that was giving them an advantage in the game, he would most certainly be going on about it. But we'll have to wait and see. Glenn thinks Ox starts. Yeah, not a bad show. I think maybe one position at the back and one in midfield might be up for grabs. I'd like to see the front three play. 6,000 each. The ground holds 40,000, and the 6,000 each. Jesus. Chelsea will go as strong as it is. Only a bit of silver they can realistically win. Yeah, it was, as I said, their lineup today surprised me that he went with Abraham up front as opposed to Giroud. But I don't know how many options they have. Like, they let Gary Cahill go there, and they let David Luiz go, and they're starting with Christensen and Zuma. That to me looks horrendous centre-back partnership for Chelsea as the season goes on. I really do. But we'll have to just wait and see. I fancy us to beat them. Maybe Milner to start. Yeah, looking at the second half of the night, he may go Henderson deeper, and he might go with a Milner Keita. He might go Milner Ox. I just think he might leave Wijnaldum out. And he may do something with Fabinho. We don't know. We'll have to see who travels, and then we go from there. But we'll definitely talk about it tomorrow. We'll definitely talk about it on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we'll come back after the game and have a chat about it directly after the game, 10 p.m. But what else was there that I wanted to speak about? Any good goals this weekend? Any really good ones? I'm trying to think, was there any crackers to start the weekend off? There's usually one or two on the opening day. Sheffield United done well to get a point at Bournemouth. Brighton had a great win away at Watford. Palace and Everton 0-0 draw. You know, we've seen, I don't know what Arsenal were like today. I've seen they won 1-0. Didn't see much of that game. I can't remember if there was any absolute cracker. Jono says Dicko saying the league is gone. Ha ha ha, get off it. Dicko's only messing. Don't be minding Dicko. Dicko Yeah, he's only playing. He's only playing. Don't worry about that. Isn't it nice not to be talking transfers? Says Kev. Yeah, it is a bit. We know what we have now. We know what we're going forward with. And we go forward with a confidence that, listen, Liverpool will be thereabouts. I've no doubt about that. You know, I always say 10 games in, it starts to take shape, and you start to see people's strengths and people's weaknesses. And look, I think the top two will be the top two again, just in a slightly different order. To be perfectly honest with you, but yeah, no, I think Liverpool will be fine. Liverpool will be fine. I'd have more concerns about way more teams around us than Liverpool, to be perfectly honest with you. What else are we going to speak about? What else did I want to talk about? Yeah, the Southampton game. I just wanted to. Now we're a long way out. It's at the weekend, so it's a long way out. But just trying to couple in the Super Cup with this league game. Do you reckon? Does anybody reckon he could make a fair few changes on Wednesday night and take that little bit of a risk and prioritise this on the weekend, or do you think he'll probably see it as like another warm up for the league, if you know what I mean? He could use it as, no, this is another game to get our legs going and stuff like that. He could absolutely go that way. So let me know what you think of that as well. Scabby Sports says, Barry, yeah, they were 1-0 down. They were dominating most of the game, but Villa had a couple of chances, but Alisson made a massive difference to them. I watched that game in the airport before I come home, and Alisson made a massive difference to them when he came on. They have a couple of players to come back in as well, Spurs, but they didn't look. They looked fairly open at times as well. You know, it's. But again, it's the first day of the season. You know, an early goal setback, and you're not quite in the rhythm. I'll have to wait 6, 8, 10 games. Real Madrid still have 3 weeks to try and tempt Mane or Salah to move. Won't be happening, Stephen. Relax. It's all good. It's all good. You're just messing now like Ray Dickinson. Shane Long to play his usual game of the season next weekend. Yeah, Liam. He does seem to play quite well against us most of the time, but I'm quite happy for us to go to Southampton and with the team that play Friday night or one or two small little tweaks. I'm absolutely all right with that. Spurs are away to City next week, aren't they? Interesting to see the way they come out and play. But I'd expect City to win that. Harry Kane actually turned up in August. Yeah, he has a mad record in August, doesn't he? Where he doesn't really score goals and then goes on a mad one from September to right through to the end of the season. But no, he's got off to a good start, Harry Kane. But as I said, get 10 games in, have a look, see where people are, and then we'll see how we go on. Barry Carr reckons Ndombele will destroy City. Do you think so? Probably was okay today, got a goal, but we'll have to wait and see. I just hope on this season that more teams do come out and play against City and challenge them, you know, and have a little bit of bravery about them. Because don't get me wrong, City are a fabulous side, but it's not like they have no weaknesses and there's no way you can get at them, you know. So I think, yeah, I just hope for this season teams for me come out and play it and tried a bit harder against, and were a bit more adventurous against Liverpool than they were City last year, and City just swaps them aside, you know, whereas Liverpool had to work a little bit harder because teams are a little bit more adventurous against them. So I just like to see teams be a bit more competitive against City because I think it'll be to their advantage. Son will be back too. Of course, he was suspended. I forgot about him. It's funny how Pep says that everyone wants LFC to win the Premier League because listen to the media over the weekend. Apparently, we are wasting our time. City already having a parade this week. Yeah, it's a bit strange, you know. And what's funny for me is most of these people, their jobs rely on a good Premier League and a competitive Premier League, but they seem to just, as I said, laud this City side and talk about any weakness they can find in Liverpool. But as I said before, Liverpool went toe to toe with them and a point in it and won a European Cup. So you know, it's a little bit cheeky, I think, of people to be lauding them and not giving us and trying to look for things in us. I think more than they can with City. You know, but we'll have to wait and see. Naby to start on Wednesday, says Vinny. I think he can cut Chelsea open. The one thing about Chelsea today was in transition of the ball, losing the ball, and I mean losing the ball bang on halfway or even 30 yards from United's goal. They looked so deceptive to a counter-attack. They weren't walking back, they were cut open. Any sort of movement from United players making decoy runs. Chelsea were completely falling for them. So we'll have to wait and see. But I don't expect Chelsea to be that bad again on Wednesday. I think they were good, decent for the first half an hour, 40 minutes, and then it all went badly wrong. Mainly down to Zuma deciding he needed to tackle a fella that was going nowhere. Barry says Raheem has feet on the ground. He tweeted, "Let the race begin. Fair play." Yeah. Listen. There's no one in that City squad think they're going to win that league or the canter. They know that. They just know that. Especially when Liverpool are about, and that's how good they. Listen, when City rate Liverpool that high, something's happening. Something's going down. Don't get all the praise Spurs get. We are European champions. Yet they get more praise. I don't really listen to the media about Spurs. When Spurs go and win something, I'd start listening about them. I think they're a very good side, but they need something in order. They need to win something in order to be put on that. Like us. We were great and stuff like that, but we had to win something. We've won something now, and you talk about them like that. But Spurs be thereabouts, but I still don't think they're as good as us. Klopp's preferred three: Fab, Hendo, and Genie. You would think it will change from at the end of the season. I don't know if he has a preferred three. It depends on the games. I think that was a steady three he wanted there the other night just to get us through the game, and I think he's probably still looking in the next probably 4 to 6 weeks to build us. And when he builds us and gets us to an optimum, then you might see his preferred stuff. But listen, it's all about squads. It's all about lads being able to be there, be ready, be at the level that you need them to be. And if you can build up as you go along, listen, absolutely fine. I'm absolutely fine with that. But look, that's been us. About 42 odd minutes we're in. Someone asked when the Champions League draw is. I don't know. I'll look that up and I'll come back to you tomorrow. I absolutely will. Thanks for joining me tonight. It's been good as usual. Your comments have been excellent. If, as I said, share it on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, spread the word. The more people we get in here, the better. I'll try to get somebody on tomorrow to have a chat with me. We're trying to get someone on Tuesday. We're trying to get more and more people on this show as we go. It's just been a hectic couple of days where I wasn't able to organise anything. But I promise I will get on to that tomorrow, and we'll try to get more and more guests on. I do remember you mentioning a hell of a lot of guests going back about a week and a half ago. I have made a note of them. I will contact some of them and see if they can come on and chat to us for a half an hour one night at 10. I'll be back tomorrow night at 10 p.m. The club podcast is recording tomorrow evening. That should be out for you tomorrow night as well. So you'll have 2 shows to listen to from us tomorrow. So yeah, get on the club, get on our show tomorrow at 10 p.m. And yeah, we'll talk to you then. Over now.